A little bit of a mixtape, a little Michael Jordan tape here.
Which will probably get pulled down for.
No, it's on YouTube.
Long as you can't play
it's on YouTube. Yeah. So recently we've been, we just started watching The Last Dance. I haven't seen any of it yet. So what would you like to talk about? Do you want to start with the first episode, or would you like just to talk about opinions on people?
Let's try to go with topics between first episode to the fourth episode.
Okay.
And the first topic that I want to talk about with the first episode is Jerry Krause. That fucking Jabba the Hutt junior motherfucker. He, smart, but
very smart. He definitely made the team proper.
Socially awkward. If he wasn't so socially awkward and he was able to express himself to players, I think it would have been better. But
look at him.
But when you're in that position, I don't think that you have that chance.
There's a difference between being a businessman and being an asshole, and I think he couldn't figure out the in between. I think they even referenced that in the first episode as well.
It's the statement.
Mm-hmm.
When he says that secretaries do just as much work as the players on the court.
Or no, it wasn't secretaries; it was the organization. Like
him
himself. That was his way of trying to get credibility.
Yeah, but I think he mentions the secretaries in that quote.
I can't confirm that. I can't confirm that.
But still, it's insane.
It is a little insane. I have to agree.
Yeah, you got these people here. That's awesome, but like they still have to train and make the shot. There's no pressure on you.
They still got to put the work in on the court to show you their worth. I agree.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to take, I not only think it's really so much the first episode, because pretty much the first episode is just basically talking about how shitty of a person that he was, if you think about it. And basically like the beginning of the Michael Jordan. Like first off, he was meant to be a fucking god.
I wasn't sure that. I didn't know that he played with James Worthy.
I didn't know he played with James. I thought that was actually really cool too. I didn't know he played with James Worthy in North Carolina. That definitely helps you as a young man trying to excel, because he's only a freshman.
Because he said he's like, I was the best player on that team for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, then
he played being one-on-one for 2 weeks, and then he became the greatest. He just figured out the flaws. Look at him right there, just dunking over people. He truly is one of the greatest. That's why, like, when people bring up the whole LeBron James, Michael Jordan thing, I have to say Michael Jordan, though he wasn't in my time, LeBron James of all time. You can make even a case for Bill Russell or Oscar Robertson, but you really can't say Michael Jordan's not the greatest.
I'd have to say also in that first episode, MJ's mom looks younger than MJ.
Oh yeah. I don't know. She was good.
I was impressed. What fountain of youth she found, but oh my god.
Did you also notice that they didn't make any references to his baseball career? Do you think they're waiting for that?
Well, there's supposed to be 10 episodes. We have
4,
and it's only supposed to be about The Last Dance. It's
that's true.
You know what I mean?
I'm surprised they're not going to talk about the separation he had from the team, though.
Yeah, actually, they probably will. So
that leads into the episode 2, which is basically about my man Scottie Pippen.
Which is a great episode.
I will say that I actually am on the record numerous times saying that he's the greatest Bull to ever play. Only because Michael Jordan cannot just be the GOAT, and as well, we got free ads here. You can't be the GOAT, but also be the greatest. So you got to give Scottie some credit, especially when the man was basically disrespected his whole NBA career in a sense, based on money and salary.
Greg,
7 years, $18 million, that's disrespectful.
Greg, you can't say that MJ is the best player of all time.
Yes.
And then say Scottie Pippen's the best Bull of all time.
Yes, easily. You can't give the man both credibility.
Great. That's like saying, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best center of all time, but he's not the best buck of all time.
Well, he's not, because it's Oscar Robertson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you think about that one, though.
Yeah, I forgot about him. He is
This is how I see it. I think Scottie Pippen he's the most underrated player in all of NBA.
Most underrated, absolutely.
I mean, the man literally he took a 7-year.
That does not make
he took a 7-year contract for $18 million. That doesn't give you the
title of best bull because you're the most underrated.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, on with what?
So episode 3.
I'm glad we just got to talk about what you want to talk about.
I love Scottie Pippen.
I know. All right, we'll just go to episode 3.
Love you, Scottie.
Dennis Rodman. This team was just, a good team to watch before they got Dennis Rodman, I have to say.
I have to agree.
Dennis Rodman in Detroit, before he became that demolition man.
That was interesting. And San Antonio with the hair.
I was like,
ooh.
Yeah, when he gets to San Antonio, that's when you first see it. You're like, wow. Because, I was born in 93. And the first thing I think of Dennis Rodman is he's just a wild man. He's always like that. Mm-hmm. So to think that he wasn't like that in Detroit, he's a little more shy and just loved playing basketball because it kept him from, in his head. Just amazing story.
He had to say it is, as outlandish as he is. When he was on the court and was doing his thing, he was probably one of the best to ever do it. That's why I believe he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's the best
I think he is.
to do what he does. He studied the ball.
The way he was describing the way he was the way the ball was hitting off the rim, I was like, that is literally hours. That's hours of just
how he was describing it in on the documentary only makes sense to him. But it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It only makes sense to him because he knows how you're gonna shoot it, how it's gonna come off the rim. He knows if you tip it and he touches it, which way it's gonna go.
That was insane.
He probably just sits there and him and his buddy just tip the ball and see who could rebound it. Just
there was a lot of videos of him tipping the ball. Numerous
there's a
times,
lot of that.
Grabbing it, bringing it down.
That's him against a bigger guy. Him just keep on tipping it off of them, making sure they can't grab it. He just a bunny rabbit.
That's just insane.
And he would just and when they go over that thing of him going out and partying in Vegas, he just comes back and just he was never there. He never left there. He never left. It's he wasn't there, but he was always there.
Also a man of very awesome hairstyles. In the 90s, he was a very 90s
He liked
thing.
to dress in women's clothing a little
bit. Which
bit.
was a little bit weird, but you know what? You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, he, I'm glad Dennis Rodman pretty much started the trend of you could be whatever you want.
You say
kind of like Madonna, Madonna.
That's probably why they kind of got gravitated towards each other.
But that was for Madonna did it for women. Dennis Rodman did it for men. Dennis Rodman was just do what you want, man. I'm getting paid all this money. I'm the best rebounder, in the league, and I'm gonna do whatever I want because I'm a crazy motherfucker.
He was definitely crazy.
He's crazy. He had his his mental issues. But that's
something.
When you're that good, Jordan has his issues.
Yeah.
Do you think he has the best relationships with his kids?
I would think so because I believe that even though he's a boss on the court, he's doing that as a business at home. They could be a completely different person. So I don't want to speak on it like that.
Here's my thing.
But I think he does.
Comparisons of, try and compare Michael and LeBron.
That's like trying to say Kobe wasn't a good dad. We know
he's a great dad. But if Michael Jordan's getting his all the time, and he doesn't have time to see his kids, and he can't be the best dad,
I got it.
No one's seeing that. No one's seen that in the 80s.
Scottie Pippen.
Today, you have to be all around the greatest person. If LeBron James was, not the greatest person, if the rumors of MJ are true. Not saying that they like the gambling rumors are true. Could you imagine that today? You wouldn't get away with that.
I think
LeBron is the best at handling everything that they throw.
And you know who Michael Jordan is? The guy wanted to be a fucking baseball player.
I understand because of the gambling. That's all the. And that's
I like the gamble. What makes me bad?
All right, back to the Last Dance.
He's going completely off course.
Yeah, sorry. Episode 3, great episode. I loved it. Anything you want to say?
I really didn't care for too much just because I mean Dennis Rodman's all right.
I love
learning some of the stories. Yeah, was neat, but I wasn't so new. Now episode 4 though with Phil Jackson, I found a little bit more interesting.
I like the connection, the Native American connection between Dennis Rodman and Phil.
I thought that was neat. I did like how on some spiritual level the Dennis Rodman and Phil Jackson were level, and we know like maybe not with the Knicks as much, but Phil Jackson's in a sense of
Phil Jackson had like a happy birthday card from Dennis Rodman. It was like a picture of Dennis Rodman. From like it was a I think I remember seeing that when in episode 4. Check it out, guys. But
yeah, definitely.
Let me know in the comments if you see that picture. But I love that episode. You got to know a lot about Phil. Phil has the number 1 posture in NBA. He has
I didn't notice that. He was always square.
But like square, but
like
I'm
always hunched
leaning
over.
forward a little bit, but like straight. It
was different.
His shoulders. His shoulders, but he's got. I don't know. The man.
He's a big guy. He's also like 6'6" or something like that.
He is a dinosaur.
Oh, could be.
He is but he relates the most to Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could have another coach. That is the only coach that could coach.
Now let me ask you. Before you watched it, did you know that he played for the Knicks? I knew he played for the Knicks.
I did not know he played for the Knicks. I know that he won a championship for the Knicks.
That's actually real funny because my dad and I recently just watched an old Knicks video. I think it was the Knicks against the Lakers, I believe. Don't confirm that, but it was on the NBA Network, and Phil Jackson was on there. And I knew that before that he played on there because I think I watched a documentary about the Knicks as well, and it was just kind of neat. That he played as a player. He wasn't the best player, but I mean,
that goes into what I was saying. Like that's like he wasn't the best player, but he was just how Dennis was, just like a good role player.
And then he goes off and goes to win that championship in Puerto Rico.
A coach earlier,
I didn't know he did that.
A coach earlier in Detroit said you can't put a saddle on a Mustang.
Yeah, that's what they said about Rodman.
Yeah, that's what he said about Rodman. And Phil Jackson was the perfect coach for Dennis Rodman because of that. Because he never put the saddle on him, but he knew how to do what he wanted him to do. You know.
This is Jordan's flu game. Probably one of the. I wish I was alive. Like I knew I was alive during this period, but like watching basketball during this period.
Was it a flu game?
That's what they said.
People say it was the flu.
Wasn't the hip?
I think he was out doing some shit the night before.
Skype him. So that pretty much wraps up like all 4 episodes of The Last Dance. So we could just comment. We got the last. Look, we actually got that perfect. We got the last 3 Michael Jordan highlights we can check out here. Boom. What was that? That's against Craig Elo in the Eastern Conference. Conference Finals or
that? Yeah, that's the shot in the Eastern Conference. No, this is to get to the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
This is when they go to. Yeah, this division round when you had to play them in 6 games. Mm-hmm. So there I'm talking about it. And that's the most iconic shot, you know.
And then we got the Jordan.
This
was cool. This was against James Worthy, I believe. We were talking about it.
Yeah,
there is right there, actually.
Yeah, when he switches his hand, oh my God, the athleticism to control your body like that.
So what's the number 1 Jordan? I should know it, but right now I can't think of it. But I'm eager to see it.
Here it is. Steals it. This is game-winning shot. Yeah.
This is the 98 finals.
Yeah, they should.
Oh.
Crossed him.
Bang. Cash.
You know, don't they come back and score again after this? With 5 seconds left?
I can't.
And then
remember
he comes back.
Unless they kind of go through with it. Unless they show more. Right now, it's just showing this
it's
nice
not.
crossover on Mr. Russell there. Bang. That's what I do with you and Luka Doncic on 2K.
I'm not good with my... I need to watch old games.
I need to watch
know
it.
what happened. But I was telling you before, they should make a... You know, Game of Zones, the animated series of like what's going on in this year. Like
we did talk about this off air.
Yeah, they should do a Game of Zones of like of the last Dance. I think it'd be sweet. They put dragons in it and everything. Phil Jackson could be a goddamn dragon.
You want Phil Jackson to be a dragon?
I think that'd be sweet.
All right, well, I guess I really don't have anything else. Really, did you have anything in mind that you wanted to share to the viewers, or?
No, I just wanted to talk about the NBA right now and just talk about the Last Dance and really get what's off my chest from watching that.
And I haven't had a chance. We actually just watched. We watched 3 of the 4 episodes together today because my internet was being stupid at the time and I couldn't watch it for some stupid reason. But we got to it. It was great. I'm excited for what I believe is every Sunday at 9.
Oh yeah, every Sunday at 9 on ESPN they show it. But I do not have cable, so I watch it afterwards when it comes on the app. Because you can't stream. I can't stream it off the app.
You can use the Comcast thing, though.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
But that's the first episode of Super Banana Butts. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Or Super Banana Butts. Super Banana Bros. That's our next edition.
Yeah. In the comments, please put down what you'd like to hear us talk about. I've been thinking about doing like a couple movie reviews because I've been watching a lot of movies during these quarantine. I watched Trolls World Tour. Oh god. That was, dude, sweet. Honestly, gotta watch it. Hilarious. I watched Sonic last night.
I do want to see that.
And then I watched Mortal Kombat: Scorpion's Revenge.
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, it's animated. It's really good.
I'll be watching anime. I need to finish watching. I think I have an episode of My Hero to watch. We'll be looking for some of that content. I'm trying to get Ian to watch wrestling. I want to start talking about wrestling.
I told him to start watching amateur wrestling college.
The issue with that is it's not as often that's going to be on air.
Or we could talk about UFC fights.
We definitely
UFC
could
fights
do
are going to be coming on pretty soon.
We got to talk about how Base of the Universe does not want Tony Ferguson and could be even been again off.
But we are getting Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. We will be talking about that.
All right. Well, we're going to save all this for now until next time. Keep it with us.